Hello viewers, I am Snigdha Poddar. Welcome you all to Nurtures Biology. Today is our first video lecture on Nurtures Biology YouTube channel. So please like, subscribe and comment. So let me introduce myself. Myself Snigdha Poddar, MSc Biotechnology, and recently I am pursuing PhD from USTM, that is University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. So today we will deal with the first chapter, that is Living World of Unit 1, Diversity of Living World, from NCERT Biology Class 11 book. So let's come to the topic. So the first thing that arises in our mind, that is, what is living? To define living, we will consider 5 points. The first point that we will consider is growth. The second one is reproduction. The third one is metabolism. Fourth is cellular organization. And the fifth one is consciousness. So there are 5 characteristics to consider a thing as a living is growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. So let's go in detail with every point. So now we will see what is growth. Increase in mass or increase in number in a tissue or an organism or any part of an organism. So we have seen what is growth: increase in mass or increase in number in a tissue or an organism or any part of organism. So in case of multicellular organism, these growth takes place continuously, and the process by which this growth takes place is cell division. Even in unicellular organism, this growth takes place by cell division, and growth is irreversible and permanent process. So what is growth? Is irreversible and permanent process. The next one is reproduction. The next one is reproduction. So now we will see what is reproduction. Production of progeny. Production of progeny, that is offspring. That should be similar to its parent, is called reproduction. Now reproduction is of 2 types. First is sexual reproduction, and the second is asexual reproduction. This takes place in case of multicellular organism. So this one is called sexual reproduction, and the ones which does not takes place sexually is called asexual reproduction. It's called asexual. The other means is called asexual reproduction. And the example of asexual reproduction can be in case of fungi, it can be spore formation. and in case of hydra and yeast, it can be budding. Here we are done with multicellular organism. Now in case of unicellular organism like bacteria, algae, this takes place by increase in number of cell. In unicellular, reproduction takes place by increase in number of cell. So now let's come to metabolism. The third one is metabolism. So all living things contain certain chemicals. This conversion of chemicals into biomolecules is known as metabolism. This conversion of chemicals into biomolecules is known as metabolism. So there are 100 types of chemical reaction taking place in our body. So we can define metabolism as sum total of chemical reaction. So this can be defined as sum total of chemical reactions. Sum total of chemical reactions. So now let's come to fourth one, that is cellular organization. Cellular organization is arrangement of cells is known as cellular organization. And then comes consciousness. So this is awareness to external stimuli or response to external stimuli. So from here we can say that what is living and what is not living. We have to see one point, that this growth and reproduction is non-definite, whereas the other three are definite. So now let's come to the point, what is biology? From the above discussion we can say what is biology. It is natural science that deals with the study of life and living organisms. It is a natural science that deals with the study of life and living organisms. Bio means life and logos means to study. We are done with the first part of this chapter, that is living world, and now we will come to the next part, that is taxonomic categories. So for studying taxonomic categories we have to first go to some key words. So let's see. The first one is systematics. The very first one is systematics. Study of diversity of organism is known as systematics. Study of diversity of organism is known as systematics. अभी हम लोग देखेंगे बायोडाइवर्सिटी क्या है. What is biodiversity? It is the variability and varieties of living organisms present. It is the variety and variability of living organism present on the earth. So, there is a need to classify and name these living organism, and this process of naming organism is known as nomenclature. So, from there we can derive what is nomenclature, naming of living organisms. Is known as nomenclature. Now we will come to identification, describing of organisms correctly and to know what organisms the name is attached to. So, what is identification? Describing of organisms correctly. Organism is attached to. So, we are done with systematics, biodiversity, nomenclature and identification. Now, for identification of plants and animals, there are two organizations that has given the names. For plant, the scientific name based on agreed principles and criteria is given by, for plants is given by ICBN, and for animals it is given by ICZN. So, ICBN, it stands for Indian it's not Indian, it's International Council of Botanical Nomenclature. It stands for Zoological Nomenclature. So, now what is binomial nomenclature? Naming of organisms according to certain scientific rule is known as binomial nomenclature. Naming of organisms according to certain scientific rules is known as binomial nomenclature, and it was given by Sir Carolus Linnaeus. It was given by Sir Carolus Linnaeus. So, biologists universally accepted this rule to provide some scientific name to known organisms, and for that they have considered two parts. The first part is generic name, and the second part is specific epithet. So, now let me explain you all with an example. The scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. So, this is the generic name and this is the specific epithet. So, we have to underline both the word, and both the words should be written in Latin, and the name of the generic, the first letter of the generic name should be written in capital, and the first letter of the specific epithet should be written in small letter. So now we will come to what is classification. So now we will come to what is classification. So what is classification? By which organisms is grouped into convenient categories. Is grouped into convenient categories on the basis of study of observable characters. What is classification? Organisms is generally grouped into convenient categories on the basis of study of observable characters is known as classification. So now we will come to what is taxonomy. Taxonomy is the study of principles and procedures of classification. Principles and procedures of classification. Study of principles and of classification. So basic to taxonomy are certain points. The first one is characterization, second one is identification, third one is classification, and fourth one is nomenclature. Characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. The last one is nomenclature. Let's start about the main part, that is taxonomic categories. Main part is taxonomic categories. So there are main 7 parts in taxonomic categories. So I will write each and every part in detail. Kingdom, then comes phylum, then comes class, comes order, then comes family, then comes genus, then comes species. Now I will give you a simple trick to learn this in easy way. Consider the first letter of each word, and here see, it's K for kids, P for play, C for cricket, O for on, fine, grassy surface. So this is a very easy trick to learn this sequence, and you cannot change this sequence. This sequence has to be followed. So now let's come, what is taxon? Each category is referred to as a unit of classification is known as taxon. Is as a unit of classification, as a unit of classification is known as taxon, and it is considered as a rank. Let's go in detail about the 7 categories of taxonomy. First is species. What is species? The taxonomic study consider a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities. With fundamental similarities is known as species. For example, Panthera leo. This Panthera is genus and this leo is species. So here for this genus Panthera, again we have species, that is tigris. Both belong to lion. So one genus can have more than one species. So now we will come to genus. So what is genus? Genus comprises a group of related species. We can define genus as a group of related species which has more or some characters in common. Then we will come to family. So genus is considered as a group of related species. Now family has a group of related genera. Has a group of related genera which has less of similarities than genus or species. Then comes order. Then we have order. Order has group of related families. It has group of related families with less number of related family or groups or species. Then comes class. It has related orders, group of related orders. Then comes phylum. According to the principle of taxonomy, the ranks above class and below kingdom is known as taxonomy. Is known as phylum. Below kingdom and above class is known as phylum. Let me explain you phylum with an example. Based on some common characters like notochord and presence of dorsal hollow neural system, the fish, amphibia can be placed under the phylum Chordata. So this is known as phylum. Division. In plants, classes with few similar characters are known as division. One part is there, that is division. In plants, classes with more similar characters are considered under division. Then comes kingdom. Then comes kingdom. The highest classification into which and living organisms can be grouped is known as kingdom. The highest classification. to which an organism can be grouped. Is known as kingdom. There are two kingdoms mainly. Kingdom Animalia, and it's animal. For animal it is Animalia, and for plant. Plantae is for plant. So let's consider an example for this whole taxonomic categories. Let us consider Homo sapiens, that is human. Homo sapiens. So the common name for Homo sapiens is human beings. So here let us classify it. First will be genus, then will be family, then will be order, then will be class, then will be phylum. So the genus of Homo sapiens is Homo. The family of Homo sapiens is Hominidae. Order is Primata, and its class is Mammalia, and its phylum is Chordata. So in this video I discussed the first chapter of Unit 1. I will recommend you some important questions after my next video of Chapter 2, that is the biological nomenclature. For more videos related to biology, please do subscribe our YouTube channel and press bell icon. And if the video is productive, please share and comment. Keep environment clean and green. Take care. See you soon.